What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Doctor Who video. Today I'm going to be ranking the Series 3 episodes. So remember that these are my personal opinions. I'm going to be going from my least favourite episode to my favourite episode of Series 3. But yeah, do remember these are only my personal opinions. Your opinions are obviously probably going to be different, so just take that into consideration. But anyway, let's get started. Number 13, The Lazarus Experiment. Alright, so The Lazarus Experiment has got to be my least favourite episode of Series 3. I think the concept was pretty cool. We have an alien which isn't even really an alien. It's really completely human, but we have a machine where an old man wants to make himself young again, wants to make himself reborn. I think it's a really cool concept. Altogether I think it's not done too badly, but one of the main things I don't like about this episode is I just don't really like the alien. Or I keep saying alien, they keep saying in the episode that it's human. It's not alien at all, it's completely human. But I think it just looks really bad, and altogether I think the story just isn't particularly interesting, so that's why it gets in 13th. Number 12, 42. Alright, 42 is probably regarded as one of the worst episodes in Series 3 by a lot of people, and obviously with me having it in 12th place, I do agree with that. However, the thing with Series 3 is it has a lot of really good episodes, but then it doesn't really have a terrible episode. I mean, even these two episodes at the back, they're not terrible, they're just not the best. So Series 3 is made up of a lot of really good episodes, and a lot of just kind of average episodes, and I think 42 is that. They decided to go with this thing where the episode was about 42 minutes long, and it was all in real time, so we didn't have any because of that. The pacing did feel a little bit off sometimes, but honestly I think all things considered it was done pretty well. The Doctor going blind and them having to freeze him, I thought that was really good. Altogether it's not the most interesting of stories, but I still think it's decent. Number 11, Daleks in Manhattan. Alright, so this is the first part of a two-part Dalek story halfway through Series 3. It's regarded as the worst Dalek story of the Russell T Davies era, and I probably do agree with that. However, I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people say it is. The Daleks have come to Manhattan in the I'm not sure when is it, 1950s-ish, I can't remember. But we have a few characters in there that aren't particularly interesting. I think Tallulah's a bit of an annoying character. The pig slaves are also not the most interesting of villains, I suppose. They're kind of there with the Daleks. The Daleks are the main focus, but we also have the pig slaves. I like how they added them in there to, vary it up a bit, but, they're not amazing. However, I think Daleks in Manhattan isn't as bad as people say it is. Number 10. Evolution of the Daleks. This is the second part to the two-part Dalek story, and I personally think this is the better part, just because there's kind of a bit more going on. We get the introduction, well actually we had the introduction of the human hybrid Dalek in Daleks in Manhattan, but we really kick off with it in this part, and it's something different. We kind of get sick of Daleks just invading Earth all the time. This is basically the same sort of thing again. However, this time, the Daleks are usually known as the supreme beings. They just have to be Daleks. However, this time they're changing up what it means to be a Dalek. I like how the Daleks kind of turn on the hybrid because, Daleks, they are supreme, they cannot change. And I think it's really good. I personally think Evolution of the Daleks, kind of the whole two-parter in general, is a little bit really underappreciated. Number 9. The Shakespeare Code. So this was Martha's first trip in the TARDIS for episode 2 of Series 3, and I think it was a pretty good way to start off. Going into the past, down into Shakespeare times, I think that was pretty cool seeing Shakespeare. The actor that was playing Shakespeare was really good. I really liked that. The chemistry between him, the Doctor, and Martha was really good as well. I think the Carrionites, the kind of witches, they were an okay villain, but they weren't particularly interesting, I don't personally feel. However, I like how it's done. We have Shakespeare with this play that never really got finished or whatever happened with it. I think it's a really well done episode. The reason it doesn't get higher, I think, is just because it's just not one of the more interesting episodes. However, you'll notice that I've been praising a lot of these lower down episodes because Series 3 is just a pretty solid series. Number 8, Gridlock. So I think Gridlock is probably one of the most underrated stories in Series 3. It's a really enjoyable episode. I mean, you know, we have the Doctor and Martha getting split up, which is pretty crazy because it's only Martha's second trip out in the TARDIS. She gets split up from the Doctor. She goes with this boyfriend and girlfriend, or husband and wife, whatever they were, and they end up traveling down to the very bottom of the fast lane. I really like the whole fast lane thing with the cars. We have the Macra, which, yeah, they don't have a particularly big appearance, to be honest, but you know, it's a nice callback to the second Doctor when the Macra were last seen, I believe. So I really just like it. You know, the Doctor he's jumping between cars on the highway. I think that's really awesome scenes there. Altogether, you know, just some good character stuff in this episode, really, if anything else. Number 7, Smith and Jones. So this is the first episode of Series 3, and if you've seen my my ranking of the best series openers, you'll know that I actually put Smith and Jones at number 1. It's my favourite series opener so far, and you know, that may be a bit weird to some people because it's not the most, you know, amazing episode in a lot of ways. It's not the most, you know, adventurous and stuff, the most complicated, but I just really like Smith and Jones. There's something with it. It only gets 7th on this list because although it is my favourite series opener, it is a bit further down on this series as a whole. But you know, that doesn't mean that Smith and Jones isn't good. We have the Jadoon, which I think are really cool. They're kind of the villain, but at the same time they're not. Then we have Miss Finnegan. Just really good stuff. Really good acting by all the cast. Just a very enjoyable episode. Number 6, The Sound of Drums. Alright, so it was pretty difficult for me to break up the 3-part Master story, the finale for Series 3. It was really difficult. I love that story so much. So, you know, it was hard to pick which one, you know, out of all 3 parts, which one would rank higher, which one would rank lower. I put Sound of the Drums at the bottom. I really don't know why. It was really difficult for me. This is the second part, so we're in the middle of the 3-parter here. It's the first time we're probably getting to see the Master, really. And, you know, John Simmons, the Master, you know, it's a good episode. It is a very good episode. I honestly don't even know how I can tell you why I put it behind the other 2 parts. I really just can't. I mean, there's a few things with the Master in there that just annoy me a little bit, the way he acts and stuff, but I don't know, it's still a solid episode. Number 5, Utopia. So a lot of people, I think, consider this one the best of the 3 parts, and it's almost kind of its own part, to be honest. You know, we don't really have John Simmons, the Master, in this until right at the end. We don't really have the Master in this until right at the end, to be honest, because Derek Jacobi's Master before that, Yana, he doesn't know he's the Master until later on. I think, you know, Derek Jacobi's great. The villains in this, you know, it was setting up for the Master to be the villain in the next 2 parts, but the villain that we actually have in this part is kind of those weird, crazy teeth people. Yeah, they're not the best villain, but, you know, I don't think they were really supposed to be. When, you know, we get the Dr. Martha, we get Captain Jack back again since Series 1. That's really good. You know, Utopia is pretty damn good, but I don't know, it just gets in 5th place. Number 4, Last of the Timelords. Alright, so here we have it, the very final episode of the Series 3 finale. Yeah, I mean, this is in my opinion probably the best episode. Like I said, it was really hard for me to split these 3 up, but you know, we have the Doctor going, you know, he goes older, he gets older from the Master's laser screwdriver at the end of The Sound of Drums, but he goes even older again in this. So we actually don't see much of the Doctor until the end, but when he does come back, you know, we have the triumphant thing where the Master and the Doctor are on that big rock, and we have the big showdown with that. Then we have the Master's death at the end. We also, throughout this episode, have Martha. She goes out on her own to try and sort some stuff out, which I think is pretty cool. It's nice to see her, you know, going out and being a badass. That's pretty cool. We have Captain Jack being a badass as well towards the end. Altogether, I think this 3-parter as a whole is great. Last of the Time Lords, personally, is my favourite. Number 3, Human Nature. This is the first part of the 2-part story with the Scarecrows and the Family of Blood and all that. It starts off with the Doctor changing into a human. He has to change into a human because the family of blood are after him for some reason. He has to change into a human so they can leave him alone. However, they manage to find him. They figure out who he is. Martha is there. She has to kind of supervise the Doctor, who is now John Sim, because he doesn't remember being the Doctor. He kind of remembers it as a dream, but it's not. He doesn't actually believe he is the Doctor. He's only got one heart. He is human, and I think it works really, really well. However, Martha, she realizes that she needs the Doctor's help, and John Sim isn't going to work for that, so she needs the Doctor back. The very final cliffhanger with the gun up to Martha and the Doctor's girlfriend's head, which I can't remember her name right now, is a great way to finish that episode. Number 2, The Family of Blood. Alright, so this is the second part of that Scarecrow story, and it's a pretty good one. We have a lot of action in this episode. When the Doctor, or should I say John Smith, Martha and all the kids from the school go back to the school, and they need to prepare themselves for a battle. The Scarecrows come in, they mow them all down with the guns and stuff. It's pretty great. One of the best episodes in Doctor Who history for me happens in this, where the Doctor, he goes to the Family of Blood's ship to give them the Doctor's regeneration energy, because that's what they want. However, it turns out that he's actually already turned himself back into the Doctor. He flicks all the switches by accident, and I think that's just a really awesome scene when Bane throws the watch back at him, and you can tell the Doctor is back. It's a great episode. It's a great two-parter. I absolutely love it. Number 1, Blink. Yes, of course, it's Blink. Were you really expecting much else? Blink is just a really good episode because it's an episode that carries itself really well without the Doctor even really being present, because it has a great cast, a great main cast for this one. Sally Sparrow, really good character. Her friend, I can't remember his name, really good character. Everybody in this is interesting. The Weeping Angels, it's the first appearance of the Weeping Angels. They're done really well. The Doctor talking through the TV to Sally, really bloody good. I absolutely love Blink. I don't love it as much as a lot of people do. A lot of people consider Blink as like the best Doctor Who episode ever. They say it's a great place to start out. I don't agree with that. I have episodes that I like more than Blink. However, especially for an episode where the Doctor's barely present, it's absolutely phenomenal. Alright, so there we have it. That is my ranking for Series 3 episodes of Doctor Who. Remember, these were my opinions, these were my favourite episode, well, my least favourite to my favourite episodes in the series. So tell me, what would your ranking be down below, or what would just your, 5 or 6 favourite episodes be? I'll be doing Series 4 probably in a couple of weeks' time, so stick around, subscribe if you want to watch that when it comes out. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.